Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
What is happening, Lock Shoppers? I am not Dustin Nielson. Never would I try to be Dustin Nielson. Those are big shoes to fill, literally and figuratively. My name is Jay Milne, blue guy here at Edmonton Sports Talk. And I'm filling in for the big fella today, but don't worry, this is going to be excellent. I have never worked with the man, the myth, the legend, Hustlerama. And I tell you what, I am excited. I've watched Hustler and Dusty do this show for years. And I thought, one day I'll meet Hustlerama. But no, today's even better. Not only am I interacting with him on the Lock Shop here, but we're going to learn a little bit about each other. We're going to have a little bit of fun on this show, okay? So here's what's coming up. We're going to bring Hustler on in a minute. Rich Eisen returned to ESPN. We have to talk about that after 22 years. CFL lines, what's happening with those? MLB discussion, obviously. There was a little, things got a little spicy down in Pittsburgh yesterday as the Blue Jays lost to the Pirates. But they've got a chance to respond this afternoon. And then we're diving in. We're diving into the NFL futures. So who you think is going to win the big Super Bowl 60? Who's going to come out of the NFC, AFC, MVP? I mean, we might even go down to each division. I mean, we have to dive deep into this. And Huss and I are going to cook something up. We're going to cook something up. It's going to be massive. But it's going to be a future, okay? So you're going to have a little bit of patience. A reminder that Edmonton Sports Talk is presented by Play Alberta. Play Alberta is your home for online gaming excitement, featuring casino games, live dealer action, lottery, instants, and sports betting. Now, with the new Play Alberta app, you can take the fun with you anywhere. Download the app or sign up today at playalberta.ca. A reminder, use promo code YEG50 with a $5 minimum deposit, and you get a $50 free sports bet, or a minimum deposit of $20. Use the promo code EST Sports and get a $50 free bet. So that is courtesy of our good friends over at Play Alberta, which, speaking of, let's check in on what's currently up there today on the EST specials. I think there's only one. It's the early bird bet, and I'm not surprised. Dusty has probably paid off the better part of his house betting on the Toronto Blue Jays this year, so I'm not surprised to see that they've cooked up a Toronto Blue Jays win and an Addison Barger one or more hits. That is currently at plus 125. You got to get in on that before 440 today. But yeah, I'm excited. Are we ready to bring in the man?
He's just getting in, so 2 seconds here.
Okay, let's do it. Benny, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Jay. Just did the morning show and just had a good morning. How about you, Jay? You good?
Oh, I'm excited. I just, Huss and I were texting last night.
Yep.
Kind of like old chums, him and I.
Yeah.
We're just two peas in a pod now. I do have the capability of becoming best friends with somebody the first time I meet them. So look out, everybody. This could be the start of a beautiful friendship between myself and Andrew Paterson, the Hustlerama, as they like to call him. Yep. And I know he's excited about the NFL talk because, being a diehard Chiefs fan, can they do it again? Can they get back to the Super Bowl again? Can they win? I mean, there's so much doubt being cast towards the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't know if it's fair. I mean, until you can, put them away, and until you don't have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, I think they're a team that can go out and win at any time. So we're going to get into that. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, hit us up in the nasty chat. If you've got something to say about the NFL futures, if you've got something to say about the CFL lines, the Toronto Blue Jays, bat flips in general, please hit us up in the Nasty Chat, or you can hit us up over on the text line over at 780-218-9999. I will be monitoring that. But first, let's bring in the man. Let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend. Hustler, where are you right now?
Let's do this. Glue Guy, it is a pleasure to be with you. I am here. I don't know if you can see all these flags and everything behind me.
Yeah.
But practice round at beautiful Breezy Bend, home of the Manitoba Open. It is our annual stop on the PGA Tour Americas, and it is at our home course this year. So we have set up shop. We just sat down with Jets goaltender Eric Comrie for a while, a nice little one-on-one, which we'll have on WST coming up. He is playing in the tournament on a sponsor's exemption. They've had a Jet come in for the last few years, and he's such a fun guy to talk to. But yeah, we're setting up shop at the course for the next few days. Finish up the show. Happens to be a beer garden on the 9th and 18th holes right behind us. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, there'll be a little bit of a road show for this week for the WST boys. Well,
the picture's framed up beautifully. It looks like it's a very nice day there. So this is this a practice round today?
Yeah, practice round. They did a little media conference kind of officially announcing the sponsors exemptions. Braxton Kuntz from Winnipeg and from Breezy Bend, 4-time Manitoba amateur champion, just actually qualified and played in the USAM at the Olympic Club in California, making his pro debut in this event at his home course. So we were checking up with him. Obviously, lots of people wanted to talk to Eric Comrie and just, a little bit more on the upcoming tournament. Tomorrow's the Pro-Am. So a lot of the heavy hitters and big shooters of the city, I'm sure, will be around tomorrow to take part in that. And then the event gets going on Thursday. And listen, I'm not sure. I would assume that there's probably an event on this tour out in Alberta. It's incredible how good the players are on this one. Like the Manitoba Open last year, the final round, the final pairing was John Kiefer and Neil Shipley, who I both believe now have already got their PGA Tour cards.
Wow.
They were just out of school. So, it's sort of that feeder. You've got the PGA Tour Americas, the top players get Corn Ferry. But if you do well enough, you can get right into the mix to going straight to the tour. That's happened before. So, it's going to be really fun. Lots of as the PGA finishes up the Tour Championship this week, and we all just start focusing on the Ryder Cup around these parts. It's a big week for golf. But listen, I before we talk about some NFL and get the latest lines in the CFL, I heard you mention the bat flip. Like, I could talk about that psycho Tommy Pham legitimately for the entire show.
Well, let's dive into it then, Huss.
Craziest individuals in the history of Major League Baseball. Like that event last night, if it was anybody else, you'd be like, what the hell is going on? What's wrong with this guy? That's Tommy Pham. This is the man that slapped Jock Paterson in the face during batting practice for a fantasy football violation in his mind. Like, he was mad that Jock Paterson put a guy that was out on his IR. He complained, and Jock's like, well, look it up. The interview is, honest to God, one of the most unintentionally hilarious interviews in sports history. Jock Paterson on being slapped by Tommy Pham. And he pulls out, and Jock just casually goes through the dispute of what had happened. It was about the IR. He didn't like that. That's the only time he'd ever talked. I guess it was a big money league amongst some other guys in Major League Baseball. And then Tommy Pham, with the greatest anger management issues in all of sports, just walked up to him in the middle of shagging flies and smacked him in the face. He got 3 games for that. There's been a number of episodes. I was just doing a little digging last night. And who can forget when Luke Vogt had that slide into the plate? And it wasn't really that egregious, but the catcher got knocked down. Tommy Pham afterwards said he called Luke Volt's side, quote, dirty as bleep. He then said, and this is to the media, he knows a gym owner in San Diego and said he's willing to fight Luke Volt. and then Tommy Pham, this is another one. Again, this is from 22. Tommy Pham on Luke Volt's slide. If Luke wants to settle it, I get down really well. Anything, Muay Thai, whatever. Like I said, I've got an owner here who will let me lose his facility. So bleep him. I'm out.
Is this the equivalent of the Antonio Brown of the major leagues of baseball?
I mean, there definitely is. Like, listen, there was a lot of people that were kind of suggesting. I don't really like to joke about CTE, but I mean, and obviously it's not really a big deal in baseball as much as it is in football. And what happened to Anthony, I firmly believe that that hit from Vontaze Burfict on Antonio Brown irrevocably changed his brain, and not for the better. Obviously, I think he's still struggling, but like Tommy Pham, he's not good enough. Like, that's the thing. He's not like an Antonio Brown level player where everybody knows him and all that, but he does these stupid things. I think that's why he's been on 10 teams in 11 years.
Yeah.
I mean, a serviceable player, I guess, but no one really wants him on the around that much longer. I mean, well, you were, I'm sure, watching the game last night. What did you think when that happened? It was ridiculous.
I mean, who does a bat flip on a walk? And B, that was the lamest attempt at a bat flip I've ever seen. It's like he didn't really think it through. He tried to bounce it off the plate. It looked disorganized. And then to go back at the catcher, and I don't know what Tyler Heineman said, but
he said absolutely nothing. That's what they said. They interviewed him. He goes, I didn't say anything to him, and he didn't say anything to me. He just flipped the bat, walked, and then thought better of it. Goes, maybe I should address this myself, and then turned around and got in his face.
Address what? You're screw up. Like, that was just a comedy of errors. And then what played out afterwards on X, coming out and talking to fake accounts and just the whole look was quite damning.
Imagine,
for Tommy Pham.
That gif of 50 Cent where he says, what is he saying F me for? That was Addison Barger afterwards.
Yes.
Like, he somehow takes a ricochet shot.
Huge.
Like, absolutely not involved in this at all. And then he's basically claiming that he's on steroids. Now,
on juice, yeah.
He did. I'm sure someone said, Tommy, you idiot. Like, what are you doing? You can't just go around saying this stuff. And by the way, it turned out afterwards he was mixing Barger up with somebody else, which is even.
Are you surprised?
Fun.
Are you surprised?
But it's just so dumb. It's actually hilarious. Like, yeah. I went down the Tommy Pham rabbit hole last night. I got thinking about Jock Paterson. I watched that interview twice. If you put it this way, if any of you are as amused as I am with what happened last night, just taking us on another trip down Tommy Pham lane, make a point of at least once today watching the Jock Paterson fantasy football interview after he was slapped. And honest to God, I mean, I was in tears last night. It's just so funny. And Jock was sort of laughing by the end as well. All right, what a pleasure to welcome. Normally, Winnipeg Jets netminder. Hold on a second. Yeah, were you getting that too?
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, take that off. Yeah, so we're just some editing going on one side for everything, but it's all good. But anyways, the one thing, as much as all I've been talking about is the maniac Tommy Pham, I'm very choked about that Blue Jays game last night.
Yeah.
In that, I said, okay, it's Paul Skeens Day. You're going up against Paul Skeens. This guy is as good as it gets. The Blue Jays need to survive until the end of 6 innings. They need to get through 6. They need to get Skeens out of the game. You're the team that's loaded up the bullpen right now for the run. The Pirates are the team that basically has almost nothing beyond Paul Skeens, and they did exactly that, Jay. 2-2 after 5 or after 6, Skeens is out of the game. This is exactly the way you drew it up, and then they weren't able to close the deal. So frustrating night for the Jays. because they did exactly what they wanted to in the first 2/3 of the game, but just weren't able to close. And sort of a missed opportunity when you do what they were able to do against Skeens and get to the point of getting them out of the game where you were tied.
How does this now play into today's match? You've got Scherzer taking on Mitch Keller. Right now, the Blue Jays are minus 154 money line. They're minus 1.5 points at plus 108. Is there a little more spice to this game, given what happened last night, given Scherzer's on the mound? I mean, that's the right guy to have right now.
I was just about to say, I mean, if Tommy Pham is the craziest guy in the majors, Scherzer is definitely top 5.
Yeah.
And probably top 3. I mean, I would love for the books to
I know what you're going to
put
say.
up odds. Like, does Tommy Pham get hit
Yes.
by a Scherzer pitch in his
Beanball.
first at bat? Does the first pitch go behind him? Scherzer's smart enough and enough of a veteran that he probably, like, if he's going to plunk him, he'll put 1 or 2 regular pitches, and then he'll sort of make it look like one got away on it.
Yeah.
Whether the umpires will fall for that, I don't know whether they will address. But I mean, let's face it, the stories of Max Scherzer are legendary with just what a psycho he is as well. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if he did that. But I know John Schneider is saying, like, listen, we're not getting sidetracked by this idiot on a last place team in the NL Central. Guys, let's just go out and take care of business. And if something happens at that point, or they take a number later on, I'm sure they'll have their fun with Tommy. But first things first, Max has to get the win. It's interesting they're only minus 154, because you would think that if Skeens is out of the picture, the Jays are a heavy favorite. I guess they are playing on the road, and Keller is their next best option. And he was a guy that was rumored to be potentially on the move at the deadline, didn't go anywhere. But listen, the Jays, they lost to Skeens, albeit in the fashion they did. They were probably disappointed, but you can handle that. But you got to take care of business against one of the worst teams in the majors in these next 2 games. And I definitely do like Scherzer. And I would have thought that this game might have been closer to minus 175. So to be honest, I think there's some good value on the Jays, because I certainly expect them to get the win. Well,
and that's where that, if they win by 2 or more runs at plus 108, I think that's an attractive number. And isn't this the beauty of sports, Huss, that you have what happened last night, and then you have maybe the most psychotic pitcher in the MLB.
It's the best.
Isn't that the beauty of it? I mean, it's just it sometimes writes itself.
I was tweeting just Tommy Pham stuff last night, and then I woke up to a text from one of my buddies that's just a Jays hardo. He's like, I hope Scherzer puts the first pitch in Tommy Pham's ribs today. Like, there's a lot of Jays fans that are feeling that way. The thing that they absolutely do need, though, is to get a win. And as I say, I guess, have we heard anything about Vlad?
I'm just looking at that now. I mean, he's going to undergo an MRI. He exited with the hamstring issue, so he's not going to be in the lineup tonight. So that's going to be something to watch moving on. And I'm sure at this point in the season, they are going to be very cautious before having him re-enter the lineup.
Well, definitely. And I mean, you know what, against a team like Pittsburgh, maybe you can get away with it. And listen, there's been so many other guys on the Jays that have been playing really well that probably deserve some playing time. But man, Vlad he's turning into that superstar that, frankly, is worth the contract that he signed right now. And it's going to be tough to miss him. But just wondering if there's any, whether they're going to put him on the 7-day DL or just give him a couple days off and bring him back. Bottom line is I don't expect to see Vlad in the lineup tonight, which means, guys like Barger, George Springer, with him being back in, certainly Bo, we'll be looking at maybe for some total base totals, or dare I say even go deep. You ever been to Pittsburgh in that ballpark?
No.
PNC?
I heard it's the most beautiful ballpark maybe in the entire big leagues.
I haven't done the whole league, but I will say of the ones that I've been into, it is absolutely stunning. The views of the bridges and downtown Pittsburgh from where it is, which is great because it's usually, at least recently, a lot more appealing probably to look at the downtown skyline than what the Pirates are actually putting on the field. We were actually there for the draft in trying to think of what year the draft was in Pittsburgh, maybe 2014, something like that. And we were there, and they did so they had like a media event where if you wanted to go to the ball game, you could go. So, oh yeah, for sure, we're gonna go. Well, Jay, they put us in in this section where it was all you can eat, dogs. It was dogs, like popcorn. I think they had burgers or whatever, but it was full like Kobayashi versus Chestnut amongst many of the.
Don't do that. Don't do that to me. You don't put me in a section with all you can eat dogs.
It was so much fun, but yeah, great ballpark. If anyone's ever in Pittsburgh or have the opportunity to get there, I would certainly recommend that. We get anything cracking on these CFL lines today? I've sort of been traveling and setting up here. I haven't seen where we're at. We still got basically a couple pick'ems on the board.
Well, yes, Saskatchewan Calgary is pretty much a pick'em. Now, I just went on to play Alberta, and the entire Edmonton Ottawa game is down.
Really?
I think I don't know, because when it came out yesterday, it was -1.5 for Ottawa. Now, to me, that shocked me. That stunned me. So I immediately went and put a Jay's play of the day yesterday on the Elks money line, which I got boosted to +115. I think.
Whoa! I
think maybe what's happening is that there's been a lot of movement in that line, and they just got to cool the heels a bit and put a proper lineup, because I can't see come Friday night Edmonton going into this game as an underdog. Can you?
Well, I mean, listen, I thought that this was going to be basically a pick'em. I was surprised that Ottawa was going to be favored. And listen, once we get confirmation, Drew Brown is out and it's Dustin Crum starting, and I think people think about this a little bit more, what the Elks have done the last couple. I think the Elks could probably go off as 2-point favorites.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3. Like we saw it last week. I mean, albeit that was a home game against Toronto. But again, we're still talking about a team. Like, this feels like another loser leaves town match. I mean, the Elks, after their starters, sort of running the gauntlet to try to get back into the conversation with Winnipeg and BC about a potential crossover or getting into the playoffs. But man, I mean, listen, I'm with you on Edmonton. I mean, I've just taken them just as a pick 'em, whatever. I think I saw it last night at basically like -110 on either side. So at that point, I'm betting Cody Fajardo over whoever Ottawa is throwing out there. And I thought Dusty made a great point yesterday when we were talking about the Elks, that Fajardo being with the offense has given them just way more ability to stay on the field a little longer, and how important that has been for the Elks defense. And you see, I mean, listen, the numbers at the start of the season were atrocious, but they were on the field the entire game. Now you see, you go from the 30s, you're at 28, now they're down to 20. The fact that they haven't been on the field all game has been massive. They're doing better against the run. Obviously, they made some big plays late in the fourth quarter against Arbuckle, who still threw for like 380 yards or whatever it was. So, to me, like, I think the Elks have something good going on right now. Like, whether that'll turn into a legitimate opportunity to play meaningful games in the final few weeks of the season, be the playoffs, I guess we'll see. But I'm out of the market. But talking to all of you guys over the last number of years, through just coming out of the stench of the Chris Jones era, this new ownership group, new management group, new head coach, you can handle a few of the losses, but you want to see positive momentum. You want to give people a reason to actually believe that this team is in good hands and going in the right direction. And I think fans will respond to that. So, listen, it has been a good start. You'll say two things. If they start Cody a game or two earlier, are we in a different situation? And man, I hate to say it, but we might be thinking about that drop by Julian Grant against Hamilton as a very key moment in the entire season this year, because of what would have been possible. I mean, the difference between 3 and 4 wins right now is big when you look at where Winnipeg and BC are right now, knowing that you got another gap up before Saskatchewan and Calgary in a really, really tight and difficult West Division.
Well, yes, I hope it doesn't come down to rehashing the Coyote and Julian Grant drop. I mean, that was just awful. I mean, he redeemed himself the following week in Montreal. He put together a good game. It was great. We had him on our show, the Reed Wilkins Show, and you could just sense the relief, but then still the desire to still prove himself and say, no, I am a go-to guy as a Canadian receiver in the CFL. Huss, last week when Toronto came to town, this was the most long drives sustained I've seen by this Elks offense this year. Out of their 14 drives, 8 of them were not 2-and-outs. 8 of them were sustained. The longer they get, the better the outcome was. I mean, it's not rocket science, but what I'm saying is that this offense seems to be much more capable of putting together what normal teams, like the team you get to watch, you get to see drives like this quite regularly. Hasn't been that way in Edmonton to start the season. So you see that. You see the team being able to put together these drives and get touchdowns and finish them. But on the flip side, you see a Toronto offense that went 1 for 5 in the red zone. And I can't help but think that the rest that the defense is getting, combined with them seeing their offense with a true leader in Cody Fajardo, okay? I'm not slighting Trey Ford at all. I'm just saying right now, Cody Fajardo's the guy. And you can see it week over week getting better and better. And the defense is playing off of that, which, is not surprising. Again, this is not rocket science, but it's just positive to see those trends happening as Cody Fajardo has taken over this team. That's why I am definitely more bullish heading into Ottawa, especially if it's Dustin Crum that's going to be taking the reins. I don't have confidence in him as a steady Eddie quarterback. So I'm definitely bullish on the Elks as they head out east to Ottawa. Yeah,
listen, I am too. We got a lot of love for Bobby Dice, who's a big Winnipeg guy who's coaching the Ottawa Red Blacks, but they need, their offense is actually pretty good. I mean, we saw what they did in the week before. That's why a lot of us in Winnipeg were nervous. Drew Brown came in, he threw 5 touchdowns and had 5 incompletions. Their offense can get clicking. But without Drew Brown, there's such a big drop-off. Dustin Crum turns into Superman against the Bombers in the second half of games that they're down big. He's done it twice. Other than that, not very much. So I think that, Cody has made believers of, I think, a lot of people in that room. And, we talk about the effect on the defense. It'd be funny, even if it was off the air, just to talk to the defensive coordinator and some of the defensive players about how big of a help it has been to have some of those sustained drives and not be going right back on the field the second you get back. And listen, I think we're starting to see results for Edmonton moving forward. And as I say, right out the gate, definitely on Edmonton to win this game. So what do you see? What's the line right now on this? It's off the board?
It's still off the board. So
okay.
Generally that means they're guessing as much as we are.
I guess I was just looking. I was trying to see if there's another, any sort of report on maybe Drew Brown showed up at practice or something like that.
Yeah, I think they're going to be their practice should be over right away. So I'm looking for as much information on that as well, because that'll tell a lot. But I just think the way that this team's playing, we had Coach Killam on our show yesterday, and he agreed. He said yes. The Cody Fajardo effect, the poise, the confidence is rubbing off on the rest of the team. And that just doesn't happen overnight. Even with a proven veteran, a Grey Cup winning quarterback in Cody Fajardo, that just doesn't happen overnight. That team is starting to come together. That team is starting to gel. The defense is starting to gel. The coaches are starting to gel. This is a very new coaching staff as well. So I don't want to harp too much on the Double E, because I did want to talk to you about your Blue Bombers. And here's the thing. In Edmonton and in our market, Huss, we have the question as to who can the Elks catch? Because they have to catch either one of two teams in BC or Winnipeg. And that's, at least right now. Sure, Calgary or one of these other teams can fall off the face of the earth, but that's what it looks like right now. I've suggested that I'm not confident in their ability to catch BC, which leaves Winnipeg as the target. How is Zach Collaros? His health is, he came back from that injury, didn't look good, but has he bounced back? Is there any concerns moving forward for Zach Collaros at starting quarterback?
I mean, a little. I mean, it's not like he's a young whippersnapper anymore. And to be honest, there's been a few instances this year where you wonder whether Zach's arm strength is where it needs to be for him to play at the level that he has for as long as he has. I mean, you saw that pick that, Nick Dembski sort of held it on himself after the kick return that tied the game last Thursday. That was an underthrown ball. Dembski was clear. I mean, one of the pick sixes against Calgary earlier this year. So there have been a few, but the guy's still a leader. And to be honest, at other times in the game, looked really, really good. Listen, their secondary has been decimated. It was already we were wondering who these guys were going to be doing the job in the corners at the beginning of the season. Well, they're both gone now. They are getting some help with DeMario Houston coming back to Winnipeg, and we'll see whether he plays this week or they wait till the game against Saskatchewan the following week. But here's the thing for you're speaking about the Elks. I'm sort of with you. I really do think that BC is trending up right now. I think Nathan Rourke has stepped his game up, and an elite young quarterback like that can do a lot of great things, especially for a team that plays in the Dome. I mean, I think they will be there, and whether they're in third place, whether they're doing crossover, they'll be there. The thing with Winnipeg, and if you look at their schedule, Jay, it is really, really tough. They've got 3 games left with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They've got 2 against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They never travel well to Hamilton. So in a weird way, and I know this will sound very strange for a lot of Elks fans, they're probably going to be big Rider fans over the course of the next month or so.
I see that, yeah.
Because if the Riders, let's just say the Riders sweep the Labor Day Classic and the Banjo Bowl, even if the Bombers win this weekend against Montreal, that would have them at 6-6 with some really tough games to play. I mean, you're sort of looking at, kind of a 9-9, 8-10 season. Now, Elks are going to have to win a bunch of games. Yep. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. They can't be given any away. And I guess do the Bombers and Elks play again later on this season?
Yes, they do.
They must do it. That'll be a Winnipeg game, I think, right?
It's in Winnipeg on October. No, Winnipeg's coming to Edmonton. October 11th.
October
11th. Okay, that's a Saturday. That's right.
And I mean, you Second look at Winnipeg's schedule, and Edmonton's is it's not as tough, I would say, but it's mostly Western Division opponents. So that's gonna, they say the season doesn't start till Labor Day. Well, that might be the case here, and Edmonton, they've put themselves in a hole to start with. So they've got to go 75% the rest of the way to really make something of this season and possibly get in the back door for a crossover position.
Hey, do we need to change that saying? Because I'm with you, and I've been guilty of it too. Saying, the season doesn't really start till Labor Day. We've got the Labor Day matchups. Guess what? We've now moved the schedule like a month earlier.
Yeah.
I think we need to start saying it if we want to be in that mode where the first few weeks they're feeling each other out. I think the season doesn't start till August long weekend.
I like that.
Can we go with that? Because I think
so.
Labor Day is outdated. I'm telling you what, the Toronto Argonauts lost a loser leaves town match last week in Commonwealth. They're done.
Yeah.
They're toast. I can't possibly see a scenario where the Argos come off the mat and get back into it with their record and everything else that's happening around the league. So it can be over before then. I think the league, we'll go with the season doesn't start till August long.
I like
as opposed to Labor Day moving forward.
I think we should try trademark that. That could be something that a Husk Glue Guy original there.
Lock Shop Special.
Lock Shop Special. And a reminder that the Lock Shop is presented by Play Alberta. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery all in one place. With easy access to real money games, you can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download Play Alberta now and start playing today. Huss, are we? Are you ready?
Let's get some NFL.
Let's do it, baby. I mean, the NFL. My commander for playing last night. I was watching Jaden Daniels. I was screaming at Jaden Daniels. Why the hell are you running the ball in preseason into the end zone? I saw Deebo Samuel take the first play from the line of scrimmage and do Deebo Samuel things. I got all the feels last night, Huss. I'm excited. I'm pumped. And then I said, oh my gosh, I get to host the lock shop tomorrow and we can talk about this.
Yes. Okay, listen, I didn't watch a ton of that preseason game last night. I was more locked in on the Jays, and we were recording CFL 110 to get it out this morning. But I saw the Jaden Daniels run, and as a Daniels fantasy owner, I'm like, whoa, what? Well, he still got it, but what are we doing here? But nothing was close to as nuts as what Joe Burrow went through last night. Is Cincinnati insane? You're throwing Joe Burrow out there behind that offensive line in the preseason. And listen, he needs to own it a little bit too. That one play where he was running around, he ended up getting tackled on like the 1 or 2 yard line. I think they lost about 22 or 23 yards on the sack. He was getting mauled by 3 guys by the end. I mean, Joe, dude, it is the preseason. Get it out of your hands and get to the sideline. Can you imagine? Like, everybody should be fired if Joe Burrow got crushed in a preseason game and can't move forward. And that team, speaking of futures, I can't remember where I was listening to it yesterday. Maybe it was on TSN, but the biggest market of all of the, you can bet teams to make or miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
The biggest market right now is the Bengals to miss the playoffs.
Really?
And I think people are realizing that as incredible as Burrow is, and he's going to go nuts in fantasy because they're going to need to put up 40 a game, it seems, to win. The Trey Hendricks situation takes a bad defense and makes it potentially awful. And we still wonder whether they can protect Joe Burrow. So I don't know, man. Bengals fans, I'm sure, were just on the edge of their seats waiting for that damn game to end last night. I mean, that was torture. And I mean, I'm not a Bengal or a Burrow guy at all. But even I was thinking, like, this is insane to have this guy out in that situation. And luckily he's okay and he'll be out there. Where are you at on Cincinnati going into this season?
I guess I'm kind of on the opposite side because, I see here with Joe Burrow has the third best odds to be the most valuable player. So the books are thinking that Joe Burrow is going to have himself a year. I think last year was obviously a letdown for them. But yeah, that offensive line is a serious issue. That's why we put Joe Burrow on the thumbnail because that's their ones. That's their first group. That's the group that's taking the field on opening day. And to see Joe Burrow running around like a chicken with his head cut off, I have questions about the O-line, and B, I just question, where's your motivation at right now, Joe? What are you trying to prove in a preseason football game in Landover? I mean, I just didn't understand it. So look, I could see it. I could see the Bengals coming out and taking a run at that division. I could see them failing. It's such a toss-up. That's one of the biggest toss-ups, I would say, of the premier teams in the NFL that I have going into the season. But
I'm just looking at odds for the AFC North.
Yep.
Ravens are the favorite, as you would expect, at minus 154. Bengals at plus 250. Steelers plus 450. And then the Browns 30-1. Joe Flacco back as QB1. You got to love it.
God.
But we're focusing on those other 3 teams. You know what's interesting? Pittsburgh. Like, if Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not saying turn the clock back and be MVP, but if Aaron Rodgers can deliver top half quarterbacking, I mean, kind of fit between 10 and 15 in the league. With that defense, the running game is a little interesting because Najee Harris is gone. You got a rookie, you got Jalen Warren, but you brought in DK Metcalf. Like, Pittsburgh is a team that, every single year, Mike Tomlin just finds a way to win 9 or 10 games. That won't be enough to win the division. But it's pretty hard for me to go against Baltimore. But I guess Pittsburgh is a step below just because, when you've got Joe Burrow and what he's able to do, that's always going to give you a notch up. But as complete football teams, I'm not sure Pittsburgh isn't a more well-rounded team that I think will be more competitive week in and week out than Cincy, because Cincy has the possibilities of 1 or 2 things going wrong and it all blows up.
Yes, they are very liable for something very dramatically bad to have happen to them. I think Pittsburgh, that's an interesting question. I just don't see. I mean, Baltimore is one of the most favored teams when you look at these divisions outside of the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East, and I don't think anybody's touching them. I do think this will be a bounce back year for Drake May and the New England Patriots. I don't see that happening. I would say the most wide open division right now, Huss, if I'm looking at it just from a quick glance, would probably be the NFC West, where the San Francisco 49ers to win are plus 155. The Rams are plus 180. And then you've got the Cardinals and Seahawks bringing up the rear. But that division seems to be the most open. I don't know. I mean, Stafford hit the field for the first time in training camp yesterday, reportedly dealing with back issues. I mean, how do you see the NFC West playing out? Can Brock Purdy get it done with George Kittle? And Ayuk, is he not out right now?
Yeah, and who he's coming back from his injury last year.
Mm-hmm.
You got Jawan Jennings, which is also nicked up. If you're looking for a good sort of like maybe not talked about player for fantasy that I think is going to get a ton of targets, is that Ricky Pearsall, second-year guy. You remember he was a rookie last year and missed the first few games because he was shot.
Yeah.
And he came back. It was like Brian Robinson. They played Many Men by 50 Cent. He comes out there and gets back into him. And he got a lot of targets later on in the season. He's actually a darn good player. I think Kittle's stock is so up this year, just fantasy-wise, with Debo being gone. If you looked at the splits, when Debo was down, Kittle was up. I think they really lean on him. If Christian McCaffrey can play a full season, San Francisco not only can win that division, they could potentially go to the Super Bowl. I mean, I think there certainly is the path for them to be an elite team. They had so much bad luck go against them last year. Listen, Sean McVay and this Rams team to me, it's all about Matthew Stafford's health. And you've seen a lot of people sort of fading the Rams. We were getting these news. Stafford is 37. Back issues. I mean, that is really concerning. And after that, they've got Jimmy G and Stetson Bennett. So there is so much wrapped up in Matt Stafford that if you told me that Matt Stafford was going to be able to play the full regular season, I think the Rams are a lock to make the playoffs and probably win that division. If he's out, let's say he doesn't play this year, something happens in the next bit and they have to go to Jimmy G, we're probably talking about a 5-win team that's drafting high next year. So you're right. I mean, it is as wide open as any. I'm interested to see what Mike McDonald can do with that new look Seahawks team. They brought in Cooper Kupp. JSN's awesome. And our boy Sammy Dart's now throwing them after that great season in Minnesota last year. But I think who's the favorite, did you say?
In the NFC West?
The NFC West. It's
where was it?
Niners, Rams?
Yeah, it's Niners are the favorite, but it's not by much. I just have to pull it up here. NFC West, they're plus 155. The Rams are plus 180.
Okay, cool. Well, you know what? And the other, while we're talking about NFC and kind of open divisions, I got to tell you, I mean, I think the NFC North is, for the second straight year, one of the most fun and interesting divisions in the entire league. Like, I do. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't see anybody knocking off Detroit, though. Like, Detroit, to me, because what I want to do here, Huss, I want to build a, 3 or 4 team division winning parlay. Let's mix it up. Let's get into the mud here and let's see what we can come up with. Because for me, if I'm looking at a division, I'm sorry, Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, I'm sorry. I just can't get there. And especially you look at the letdown from Detroit last year and the hunger that they're going to have coming into the season. They've got, their defense is going to be healthy. When you think of what they did last year and how injured their defense was, I mean, this is a team that now they're 11-1 to win a Super Bowl. Hutchinson could have been the defensive player of the year last year, and obviously when he left. How concerned you? I mean, I think Detroit's a really good team. I mean, they've certainly got the horses there. I do wonder about the loss of Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. I mean, both your coordinators coming off that. I do think that is a challenge for them. But again, like I'm not about to sit here and tell you that Detroit can't do it. But I will tell you this: I'm very intrigued as the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, if JJ McCarthy can come out, and I mean, this is a lot to ask from a rookie, but from all accounts, and he missed last year, but he was in the building. They had a VR thing on Darnold's helmet throughout practice that he was kind of going through. So I think he's uber prepared for his opportunity.
Okay.
But, man, outside of him, you look at them position by position. That defense could be one to do in the league. I mean, I saw originally they opened at 4-1 to win the division. That dropped to 3. Yeah. And it still does seem it's like Lions, Packers, Vikes, and Bears. I'm not as high on the Bears, at least in the first year of the Ben Johnson. I'll wait and see on Caleb Williams and how he's never taken a snap under center ever.
Yeah.
Like, how's that going to work with, at the line of scrimmage? But I really do think that the Vikings are a live team if JJ can get it done. NFC South is another interesting division. If we want, are you in on Baltimore to win the AFC North?
100%. I would say that would be the leader of our parlay.
That's our bell cow.
That's our bell cow
on there.
AFC North. Ravens. Okay, I got her down. It's in the queue. Now we got to look for our second favorite, and you're saying to go down and take a look at Tampa Bay in the AFC South or NFC South.
Listen, we can talk about Tampa Bay, but I will be honest. There's another team there that I think is very live, and that's the Atlanta Falcons.
Michael Penix Jr. You believe in him?
I think big Penix energy, guys. Coming into this season, here's the thing.
I almost spit out my coffee, Huss.
Even if Penix has a really rough start, they do have Kirk Cousins there.
Yep.
Who, I mean, he's got to be the best backup quarterback in the league, right? I mean, a guy that would be serviceable. Someone's going to get hurt and he might get traded. I don't know. But they added a lot. They traded their pick next year to bull up their defense. And I mean, Tampa's good. I'm a big Baker guy, and I love what they did last year. It just seems crazy that Tampa's won this division 4 years in a row.
That's true.
The Saints are probably the worst team in the league, so they're a complete cross-off. I do think Carolina is going to be more competitive, but they have so far to go. To me, it's a 2-horse race.
I like this.
But I think there's a path for Atlanta to actually win this division. And when you look at the number, it would certainly juice up the parlay.
Well, right now they're plus 220, so that would definitely juice it up. And here's the thing: what is the number one division in football that always comes down to who's the best of the worst? It's the NFC South. Those divisions are won by one game. Nobody's taken off and running with that. So I agree with you on the value at Atlanta at plus 220. So I'm going to throw that in the hopper as well. I said it earlier before I brought you in that we're going to build something dramatic, and we're well on our way with Atlanta at plus 220. Let's find off for sure one more staple, and maybe we can then look at a potential flyer. Now, I hate, what about Kansas City right now on the AFC West is minus 114. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, the only real issue there is can Bo Nix do it? Can he take that next step and knock off the king of the AFC West?
Bo Nix? Listen, Bo Nix, Peyton might take the training wheels off Bo Nix this year. And listen, he's got some weapons around him. They've got a great defense. But, I don't know. As long as Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback in Kansas City and Andy Reid is the coach, I think their wide receiver room is a lot better. I think Mahomes' numbers will be way better. They'll be throwing it a lot more. They kind of had to dumb down the offense a little bit because of personnel over the next little while. listen, I mean, I think that it's funny that because I've seen the Chiefs as high as minus 140.
Yeah, I thought this was a low number. I thought this was good.
Is actually a really good number if you do like the Chiefs. I haven't seen anything lower than minus 125 for a while. So I certainly like the Chiefs to win the division. I believe that'll make it 10 straight. And if you're in on that, I certainly will not endorse anybody else in the AFC West other than Kansas City.
I'll do this one for you because I do believe that is a good number for Kansas City. I mean, I've bet against Kansas City a few times and it's always burnt my ass. So I am getting ahead of it this year. I'm riding with Huss. We're going to put KC in that parlay at minus 114. So currently our 3-team parlay is this, because I'm going to ask you for a favor of mine because I believe strongly about it. Is Baltimore winning the AFC North, Atlanta winning the NFC South, Kansas City winning the AFC West. That 3-leg parlay is already at plus 881, Huss.
Ooh,
that's juicy.
Nice.
Now, hear me out. I'm going to lobby because I just feel like this team might actually do it this year. And for their division, the NFC North, I just don't see how Detroit, and I understand, but the playbook's there. I know they've lost their coordinators. The playbook's there. They know what to do, and they've got Dan Campbell as the most confident head coach in the NFL. They've got the weapons. I just don't see how they cannot win the NFC North. If we plug the Detroit Lions into this parlay, Huss.
Dusty will love that too.
If we plug this in, Baltimore, Atlanta, Kansas City, Detroit Lions, that number's at 2,300.
23-1. I love the 3-gamer. And listen, we're taking it to a whole nother level on this one. Here's the Lions schedule. At the Packers, home to the Bears, at the Ravens, home to the Browns, at Bengals, at Chiefs, home to Tampa, home to the Vikings, at the Commanders, at the Eagles.
Oh boy.
Home to the Giants, home to the Packers, home to the Cowboys, at the Rams, home to the Steelers, at the Vikings, at Bears. I will say this, they are certainly getting a lot of teeth in that first place schedule. But I mean, listen, you can make a better argument for Detroit, I think, than you can for anyone else. I'm certainly not on the Packers. The Bears, no way. I mean, the only team that I think could upset that thing is
Minnesota.
Is the Minnesota. And again, I think we've got some big questions about the about the quarterback that's young. So I mean, yeah, if you want to throw in, and listen, that will be Dusty indoors. This will be a lock shop division winner spectacular.
Okay, we'll call it the Lock Shop Division Winner Spectacular. So I have your blessing because I do need to get your blessing because this is this is your show.
Absolutely. Okay. No, it's a fun way to do it. The ES tiers, and I know our cohort here, Dusty, will be a lot more supportive of that if we've got his. It's actually good. We've got 3 really strong teams and 1 new division winner
flyer
at a nice plus money number.
Okay, so I'm going to get that up.
Division.
I'm going to get that up over at playalberta.ca. That will be the Lock Shop Partner Parlay. Playalberta.ca. Click on sports. Click on ESC specials. That'll be up probably in about a half an hour at plus 2302. Huss, I said we're going to bring the hammer, and we did. Huss, what's coming up on WST today?
Well, we're live at Breezy. So, as I said, Eric Comrie's going to jump on with us. We'll get the latest on the Bombers with Josh Frey-Salmon, the CEBL Championship weekend, also here in Winnipeg this weekend. Coach of the Seabears, Mike Taylor, popping by. And we'll talk more about that complete psycho Tommy Pham. I'm looking forward to it.
And a big CEBL weekend coming up there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the championship. We've got Winnipeg and Calgary in the semifinal on Friday, and then the championship game is on Sunday. Fortunate that the Seabears are the host because they were 11-13. Calgary, though, had that big upset of the Bandits, the Vancouver team, who was number all year long. So it's been fun. They're supported really, really well. The Seabears games in Winnipeg are awesome. They're playing at the same place the Jets play. They'll be well into the upper deck for it. So, great weekend of hoops coming up as well.
Right on, Huss. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to get that play up. I appreciate it. Thank you for for working me in here on the Lock Shop.
Dude,
I'm sure we'll see each other.
Fun. I'm glad you were able to jump in with me, and we'll do this again soon. And by the way, keep up the great work with Reed. Many of us, sometimes depending on when we finish, Hernan and Gager are on. We usually do a nice little raid over, and you and Reed are doing a great job as well. So fun chatting with you. Let's do it again soon, dude.
Kudos to you. For the Hustler, my name is Jamie. Matthew Wannick. Talk to you soon.